GoPSUSports.com here with Penn State Wrestling Associate Head Coach Cody Sanderson. Coach, we're about halfway through the dual season. Does the training at this point in the season change at all with the grind of the season catching up to you guys a little bit, or do you stay the same?
It's very similar, but we go week to week. Sometimes we have 2 matches, occasionally we have 1 match, and so we work that all into the schedule. You want to make sure that our guys are feeling their best when they compete, but at the same time we need to be ready for the national tournament, the Big Ten tournament, so we really have to work those things in there strategically.
After last weekend, the nice one in Indiana and a tough setback against a great Ohio State team, how do you feel the mindset of the team is right now?
I think the mindset's good. You know, obviously there's some disappointment anytime you get a loss. You know, we come back and evaluate it and figure out what we need to do differently. But the guys right now that didn't have the performance they want, they're here working again. They are taking the right approach to get better, and so, you know, we'll see. I think we'll really know when we start hitting these next couple matches how well they respond.
We have a lot of new faces at the lower weights this year. How do you think the progression of those guys has gone so far this season?
I think that the overall progress has been good. I think there's been a couple setbacks in some individual matches and competitions, but you know, if we take a step back and look at the course of the whole season, which is what we need to do, I feel like we're not necessarily where we want to be, but we're on our way. You know, but you know, that's what we do as coaches. We got to figure that out. If an athlete isn't where we want them to be right now, you know, that's on me to find out what he needs to get there.
How do you think Cade Moss, a freshman, has been doing coming along, developing and everything?
I think he's really done a great job, actually. He's been thrown in there in a couple real tough matches, but he's getting better. He's getting quicker on his feet. His reaction time is getting a lot better. I think that what you're seeing is just his understanding of the college wrestling is getting better match to match. When the freshmen get out in their lineup, sometimes you can see them thinking too much. You're not exactly sure what they're supposed to be doing, and you can see him reacting more. He also, he took 2 years off for a church mission, so it was a little bit longer road for him to get back. But right now, I like his progress.
And Jimmy Gulabon, a guy who struggled a little bit last year and has been really terrific this year. What have you seen differently in him this year from last year?
With him, I think it's a maturity and an understanding thing. You know, he's always been a great wrestler. Always trains hard. This off season, you know, he put in a lot of work. He went right back to work after the national tournament because he wants to win. You know, he's not okay with getting beat or having close matches. He wants to win, and I think that last year forced him to really figure some things out about himself and how he's approaching the sport, and I think that's what we're starting to see now in his results.
And finally, this weekend you're away against Rutgers and then home against Purdue. Just what are your thoughts on the weekend?
Right now with these two, you know, we've got some tough matches with these guys, but it's all about just getting better right now. You know, we try not to get too hung up on who we have or the opponent. We're going to game plan a little bit, but not too much. Right now we still want our guys taking risks and getting better. We still have a lot of time before we get to the national tournament. And you know, there's no better way to train than to take those risks and matches, and that's what we're looking for.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.